Morning, guys. Mike from Pattern Traders, June 10th, Saturday. Real quick update on BTC, but I want to talk about Sol first. I am allocating some cap in Sol only. I'm not allocating any capital in the rest of the shit coins as of yet. We had a decent move to the downside. A lot of liquidity got taken for actually a lot of altcoins, man. Like if you look at Algo, it actually took the main low. Let me show you guys real quick before I get into the video. It took the main low, the COVID low. So now imagine the bag holders that rode it from 2019, 2020 all the way up to $3, and now they held it all the way back down, man. So it's a vicious cycle. It happened in 2017, 2018. It's happening all over again. Be careful, be cautious. But I'm going to tell you without giving you financial advice, what I'm personally doing myself as of right now. So I'm starting to DCA in only because it's the monthly order block. I feel like even though the monthly order block is pretty massive, it's from $14 all the way down to like $7. It's a 50% order block, which is pretty mad if you think about it. I am starting to average down into SOL. I don't think that the SOL low will get taken as of yet until we get up to take some liquidity from the top side. Target will remain the same, 30 to 38, maybe even 40s. But these order blocks on top on the 3-day will be the exit for me. As you could tell, if you get rid of everything on the chart, these two wicks, the $39 wicks, I mean, usually when you collapse and break structure to the downside, right? Like when you collapse and broke the structure over here, you would have taken these wicks, at least one of the two, whether we went up from here or whether we faked to the downside, came back up and then collapsed. But we didn't do that. We just straight collapsed. We gave no exit at all. So I am averaging down. Anything in this particular area on the weekly is for me a solid buy. But I'm starting from now on the monthly only because sometimes I see that the monthly mid EQ of the order block more often than not holds. Again, if the market is bearish overall, guys, this isn't going to hold. This is going to collapse down to like sub $5. BTC is at 25.6, right? And we're all anticipating that it's going to get down to like low 20s. What's going to happen to altcoins when we do happen to go down to low 20s after they just shat the bed? And more often than not, if you see in the past, what happens when altcoins do like a 15-20% flush, BTC follows. So now if you look at it from a 3-day perspective on BTC, where's your next support, right? Your next support is over here, 24, like 5, 24, 6. Past that, you're looking at teens, man. You're looking at teens. So be very cautious with what you do with your capital. Don't be crazy starting allocating like, 100% of your capital. It is not safe. Oscillators still look like shit. Again, remember when I told you this a couple of weeks back? For these to reset, it takes time, man. Time or price. And look at the 2-day. 2-day is still downtrending. 2-day is trying to put in a head over here, but the rest are still downtrending. So even if we do happen to get a poke up, it's going to eventually lead to a lower low. If you saw the video that I posted, I don't know when, June 2nd or whatnot, very evident that no matter where we go, even if we do happen to go back up to take out this liquidity at 28 and do something like this, it's going to end up coming back down and make a lower low. So be very careful. Start allocating capital if you will, with like 10 or 15% moves. Don't be crazy and allocating like 30, 40% of your capital. Again, this is not financial advice. Atom, for example, right? Look at Atom. I'm going to do another one so I can show you guys. Look how beautiful this coin looks. Now, tell me who will not buy Atom when we get to this point over here, right? Assume that you take out this liquidity and you do something along the lines of this. Easy. For me, blind long, I'm not even going to put a stop loss, write it all the way down if I have to. And then what's the target? Target's going to be up here, which is not going to happen anytime soon. That's very bullish. But the real target will be this liquidity at the $17 to $18 mark, right? Makes sense because once you take this liquidity, you're talking about reversing it to the top. So this is a safe bet for me. Atom is a safe bet. I also was looking at this shit coin, but what threw me off with this, which I thank God I took off my bids, this equal lows. I don't like them. So until I see these lows get taken, I'm not touching this. I mean, yeah, you could have a nice little move to the top side from here, right? Because you're sitting on that order block where you do something along the lines of this. And then you go back up, take up this liquidity, and then you collapse back down. But I don't even care for that move. I want to basically buy, knowing that the move going up is going to be at least a 2x. Another altcoin that I was looking at, Rune. I know that Trend bought Rune, which was a good move. We're sitting on a 2-day order block, which is solid, guys, right? This is a solid order block. We were down here in December of 2020. So no matter what happens, even if we get a little bit of a reaction here and we go back up to retest the breakdown, which is going to be anywhere between 1.2 to 1.3, solid move, man. That's at least a 30% move to the top side, right? There you go. 30% move to the top side. Anything below this, you're talking about sub, man. You're talking about if we lose this on a weekly basis, this mitigation block, this red little candle over here, right? You see this over here from September? We lose this level, you're talking about sub, man, cents. So I doubt we're going to lose the 70-cent area unless we're really going for that big dive. And if this is going to be a local bottom for like multi-months, talking about like multi-months, you're looking at liquidity being taken from every single top that we put in, man, because we haven't really done anything. And your main target, if this is going to be a local bottom, will be the 2.2, 2.5. This is the breakdown. This was the over-under trap breakdown. Ruin is a pretty safe bet if we do happen to hold this, which I'm looking into. CRV, I had bids. I spoke about it in Discord. I pulled them. But this is a decent level. This is a decent level right here, guys. Mitigation block, remember, guys, the red candles are mitigation blocks. The ones that got flipped. Mitigation block, very decent level. Ideally, what I really want to see is, see how we have all these. Let me turn all the oscillators off so you can see it. See how we have all these, here. And then here. Right there. See how we have all these wicks? Ideally, you want to start seeing candles in here. Create a base, deviate, retake, reclaim rather, right? Retrace, and then head to the top. And if we do happen to head to the top afterwards, you're talking about liquidity to get from here, liquidity from here, liquidity from here, and then your main target should be this over here, right? Because once you take everything and you touch this line, at that point you could just chop around for the next like 5-6 months. But this is your main like setup right here. This is going to be your main setup. This is what you're playing. This is your range for quite some time until we break out. And then if you break out of this range, you know you're talking about at least 1.8, right? Because there's pretty much air above this wick. So if we do happen to close the daily above this, you're teleporting over there. But that's the way you should see it, because BTC and crypto doesn't give us these opportunities often. It comes like once every couple of years where you see a massive move to the downside. We had a massive move to the downside. We start creating sideways price action, which we're doing right now, right? Sideways price action. Then at that point, you screw everybody, which I really do think that this low over here is going to hold. I don't see why this low would get taken. Now, if this gets taken, then you're talking about easy. These got to get taken because this never got taken, right? Makes sense? We're going to make a lower low, complete low, the way Algo did, and take this low. But anyway, I'm still banking on the fact that this low over here will hold. And visually, mentally, I'm keeping that in my mind. And then, so once you start reclaiming specific levels on a daily basis, you know for a fact that, guys, it's going to be, you're going for your highest liquidity. Do I have the FEG on this? Do I have the FEG? I do. Let me see the week. There we go. The weekly, wow, the weekly got taken. So we're talking about the next one is going to be this right here, which we're in. Oh, got taken. Yeah, CRV is something I'm looking into. It respects the FEGs pretty well. Like the main wicks usually are at the FEGs, right? See them? So this should give you a reaction here, guys. It should. I'm not telling you just to use this indicator and just trade off this indicator, but it's a good confluence if you have other measurements in the TradingView. Other than that, I'm not looking at any other altcoin. I have IMX on my list, but it went so high. It did, I think, a 300% move to the top side that I don't really care for it yet. I want to see it come back down here and test like the 50-cent zone or the 40-cent zone. This kind of deviation area over here, I want to see it retested to make me feel a little better about where we are without looking at FEGs or order blocks, right? Oh, there we go. We're on a mitigation block. I don't measure it as a safe bet yet, even though this is a mover. Like once it bottoms, guys, this thing is going to fucking fly. It's a mover, man. Like it was one of the few coins that did 300%. Everything else did like maybe 1 or 1.5, right? So it's a mover. If we can catch a nice little move to the downside, to the top side, sorry, we're going to make some money. Also, here we go. This is another reason why originally I was in this. I got out early, man. I got out over here, remember? I got out early. This took liquidity. So to me, when we create a base, this is something I'm going to be watching. I'm hoping that we can create a base here where this is going to start going sideways, boom, kill everybody, and then start going to the top side. And then when you start going to the top side, you're looking at probably level 1, level 2, and then after that, level 3, right? Because you want to be able to take this liquidity to the top side. Ethereum, Very interesting shitcoin because it hasn't really collapsed yet. So the altcoins did what they did without Ethereum collapsing, which is scary. Because what happens when Ethereum collapses? And when I mean collapses, I'm telling you, what happens when Ethereum does this? What's going to happen to all these altcoins? Another 20%, 30%, right? So I don't think Ethereum is anywhere remotely near done dumping, guys. Near done dumping. This is going to break to the downside in my eyes. To me personally, and I'm confident about that. And so is BTC. BTC to me is not done dumping. Like, this is ugly. If you look at the typical EMA strategy do I even have the EMAs? Mike's EMAs. Right? All right. So you crossed to the downside. You had your main EMA cross down here. You just collapsed. Listen, guys, I don't care about EMAs, but I want you to get a visual if you're just a new trader. Sometimes watching EMAs gives you an idea of trend, right? So you collapsed to the downside. See how all the EMAs crossed over here? Yes, they did, right? Now, we crossed to the top side over here, and then we finally got above all the EMAs here. And we are being squashed, rather, here between the 200 and I think it's the 99. Pink is the 99. Yeah, there we go. More likely than not, we're coming down to the 23. Especially if we collapse and all these start pointing down, it's going to be very hard to get back above. So I'll be very cautious with how much capital you allocate right now into altcoins. I think the downside is still there. I don't want to scare anybody because this is the whole idea. Nobody, you or I, cannot catch a bottom. It's too hard. That's why smart traders, they DCA no matter what happens. So when BTC gets to a good level, you start DCAing into altcoins because the altcoins have unlimited. They don't have a floor. The floor is basically, let's just call it sky's the limit when it comes to the floor. I know that doesn't make any sense, but there is no floor with the shitcoin. If BTC shits 20%, the altcoins are going to do at least 30% moves to the downside. And look at Sol, for example. Where is your next support level once you lose this particular area? You're talking about $2 to $4. So now, if I am anticipating BTC to go to, for example, to like 19 or 20K or 21 or 22, isn't it logical that this shitcoin will collapse to the downside? I think so. I'm hoping not, but I'm betting on the fact that this monthly order block right now, right? This monthly order block that we have here, see this monthly green block? I'm betting that this holds. And then it'll give me a move to the top side, somewhere here. And then if you want to collapse from here and die, sure. But I want to see this move. Or, logically speaking, since we've never put in a lower high, right? We have not put in a macro lower high. There's no lower high. We just went up and collapsed. The lower high should come from at least bare minimum here, right? Let us go back up. Let's do this. Go back up, create a proper lower high. Take your fib extension, and then collapse. And come all the way back down here. The 1-to-1 is at $2. And I'm okay with that because at least we get a bull market, a bull move, a bull trend in a bear market, which is pretty logical. So you're going to have your your lower high, and then you collapse. And then you start building a base for your next 2024, 2025 bull market, right? I told you guys, remember what John said? We're so far away from a bull market, it's not even funny. That's why he exited the market a year ago. Everybody kept saying that we're going to be in accumulation zone again. No, it's not going to happen. We're probably talking about years, right? So if that's the case, we need to start putting in lower highs on all these altcoins, and we haven't done so at all. I don't know what in God's name Adam is doing. I don't know what this is, right? But we all know that any move to downside, any move to the top side, right? Your high, your lower high, and then let it collapse. Every alt is looking the same. Every alt is looking like this, and let it collapse right down to 3. So regardless of what we do and where we go, I think within the next year or two, I know the halving is going to be in 2024, and everyone is going to do the same thing they did in 2020 with the halving. I don't think that's the case this time around. I think we're really going to collapse, like hard, and some altcoins are going to disappear. And this time around, it's going to be the SEC that's going to put the hammer on us. So be very careful, very cautious with what kind of capital you allocate. Do not start leveraging your homes and shit like that. It doesn't make any sense yet. The oscillators look terrible on the higher time frame at all. Like, I'm going to, one more thing before I conclude the phone call, the video. Hold on a second. Let me show you guys something, right? Hold on. So we are at, okay, let's get rid of this. Okay, no, it's not. I think it was a 2-week that I saw. Yeah, 2-week. All right. All right. The 2-week did an algo fire, guys, in a bearish trend. The 2-week is all the way up here, and we still have to come and meet this. So what's going to happen when this happens, right? Now, let me tell you what happened last time. Doesn't mean that history is going to repeat itself, but just hear me out. When we did this in 2019, right? We had the fucking Chinese, I forgot what it was, some kind of Chinese news that we peaked out and then we just collapsed and COVID came. How much did we dump? Like 70%? Right? Before COVID, what do we do? A 50% move, right? This was a Chinese move. I don't know if you guys were around for the new people, but people that have been here since 2019 know that this was the Chinese move to the downside, fake out to the top side. COVID brought us even lower. And now, likely what's happening is we are here. We are right here. We are right here, right here, right here, right here. It's very evident that we're there. Now, can we go a little bit higher and trap more bulls before collapsing? Sure. But I still think it's going to happen. I think that this low will get taken, or we're going to come relatively close to it, to that 16 to 19K low. This doesn't make sense for us to be, starting a new trend. Look where the PTT is. The PTT couldn't even get above. We have an arrow already on the 2-week, and we couldn't even get above. We're already at the red, right? Histo fires completely. So be very cautious. Everything is against us, man. Everything is against us. I think this market's going to be very ugly for another year, which is good, though, because go do something with your lives, right? Go collect capital. Go work. Collect as much money as you possibly can so that when we do happen to get that main flush, you have enough capital to invest. There's no reason to trade this. Just start buying shitcoins. It's not financial advice. Start buying shitcoins when you see that next major flush, especially if you see BTC somewhere in the teens. Start accumulating, right? And if you do happen to get blessed with a BTC move down to, like, I don't know, the main 10K range that everyone is expecting, right? This is the main 10K range that everyone is expecting, which is very logical. I would expect this too. If you happen to see BTC at 10,000 or 8,000, hell yeah, it's probably going to be a generational bottom. Like, coming back all the way down here and then going all the way back up there, you're talking about at least a 4 or 5x move, right? So those who missed the COVID run, it's an opportunity. It's going to be probably, you probably won't see it for your lifetime. So be smart, take advantage of what's about to come. Again, this is all speculative to what happens with the news that gets released about these tokens, because we've never had the SEC come after any altcoin before, except for what they're doing right now, right? So we do have these trend lines here on the 2-week. Also, we have it on the monthly. Hold on, this way. So what does that leave you? 12,000, 11,000 if we dump from here? 10,000, right? Look at this. So assuming we just do one rectangle, you grab this last order block on the 2-week before we broke structure, because it always works that way. The order block before structure gets broken to the top side is the order block that you have to pay attention to. Make this red. Make the box black. Assume that that's going to be an area that's going to have price gravitate towards it. Make sense? Right? So that's pretty much all I want to tell you guys. I don't want to really chew your ears off. Just be very careful. This doesn't even look good. You know what? Oh my God, this looks so bad. One more thing before I conclude the video. What happens if this is the deviation, guys? You know me, I'm a deviation type of guy. And they work. So what happens if this is a deviation? A real deviation, like a high time frame deviation. You know what's going to happen? We're coming all the way down here, guys. We're taking this wick out, right? So be careful, be cautious. Those who have been with me for 3 years, you know better. Don't go crazy with this. Wait until you see proper structure break to the top side before you start, like, blowing your capital. Trade safe, guys. DMs are always open. And let me know if you guys need anything else. Cheers.